younger relatives?
I don't have, so a lot of my younger relatives don't really play sports,
Okay.
and I think that's a cool thing about our family. You know, it's a real big sports family, but we also have a lot of variety. But I've made jokes like, oh, when I have kids, I'm going to be the same way. I'm not going to let them win at anything.
Exactly.
But I'm definitely a little softer than my Uncle Joe. Um, I could care less if my cousins play sports or what they do. I'm going to love them regardless. But I'm a little softer on them.
Was there ever that moment where you beat Uncle Joe in basketball, one-on-one or something?
See, when I was in high school, um, my uncle was probably like 48 years old, and he was still really good at basketball. Like at Cupcath, he would come in and play open gyms, and he'd be on the other team, and he would still get buckets. So we never played one-on-one, but we played a lot of two-on-two in the backyard and a lot of three-on-three. And I would say probably my sophomore year is when I started to like win all the time. Um, and then he started to have some back injuries and some foot injuries. But yeah, we kind of stopped playing once I got to probably my junior year of high school, and he just strictly would start just working me out, stuff like that.
I was curious how he took it the first time.
I think he was fine. I remember my dad though. The first time I do remember vividly the first time I beat my dad. I was so excited, and my dad went into dinner with my mom, and my mom's like, "Are you okay?" And my dad's like, "I'm done. I'm not playing CJ ever again. That's it. I'm moving on." I do remember that one. I was excited about that. I was probably in seventh grade.
Really?
Yeah, my dad's a little bit older though than my uncle. He was probably like 6, 7 years older, so his body was a little worn out.
Do you remember the details of that game when you took him down?
No, I don't remember. I do remember when we would always play to like 11, and I got the final basket, and I just threw the ball at the fence and ran inside. I was so happy. And then my dad came in, and my mom, like I said earlier, was just like, "Chuck, like, are you okay?" Because he just looked defeated. He's like, "I'm done."
Did you ever play you again?
I've never played him since then. No, never.
Now that whole competitiveness and all that, how much did that play in you getting through injury, at Iowa, and then last year having to sit again so soon in the season?
It's big. It's also my family. It's a huge reason why I get through a lot of the things I get through. They've been in similar situations that I have, and they're able to help me with things. But that competitive drive of waking up every day and trying to figure out how I can still get better every day. I think that's what got me through a lot of difficult times, especially when I got here and I had the hamstring injury. Just had a positive outlook on everything. We would just try to wake up every day and not sulk. I think I had like one day. It's funny, I told like coaches, teammates, when I found out the news, my parents, mom, dad, I was like, we can have one day to cry, but after this, I'm moving on, and it's better days ahead. And I kept with that every day. Whatever I could do, if that's getting on the treadmill, upper body lifts, clean my diet up, I was just really determined to do whatever I could to be at my physically and mentally my best for this season.
So did you take the whole day to mourn, or did you?
I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough day.
Yeah.
It was a tough day. I remember I was texting my girlfriend like what happened, and she was sending me like some real positive quotes. And I had called my mom and dad because I saw them at Madison Square Garden, and when I did it, and after the game, like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "I'm feeling great." And I knew in my head I did something wrong, but I just didn't have it in me to tell them like what had happened. So then when I finally had to tell them, it was a tough time. And then obviously having to tell my grandma and my uncle and all my relatives was tough. Just because I had previously just told them that I was feeling fine. And I didn't know what to say in that time. Like, I knew something bad had happened, but I didn't know what to say. But yeah, that was a tough day for me, just because of everything I've been through, and I was so looking forward to playing here.
Sure. Do you remember how you did it?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wasn't playing versus Duke, but I was going to be able to go out there and warm ups, and my family was at the game, so it was still going to be cool to warm up at Madison Square Garden and see my family. And I just went up to dunk in warm ups and just tore my hamstring. I didn't know I tore it at the moment, but when I went to, my adrenaline kept pumping, so I was fine. But as I kept sitting down on the bench, it started to like really ache, and I knew something bad had kind of happened. And then I still, like I said, was like kind of in denial. Like, I didn't know what had happened, but I knew it was bad. So I was just telling Jeff, I was the trainer, I was like, I think I just need some Advil. Like, my hamstring's a little sore. And then we got back at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just could not sleep. Like my leg was just throbbing really bad. And my roommate was Kellen, and I had to wake him up. I felt terrible. He just played 30 minutes a game, and I was like, "Hey, is my leg bruised?" And he was like, "Your leg is like twice the size of your other one." And he took me to the hospital, and that's how I figured out that I had torn it.
Amazing. Yeah, I asked Blair. I'll ask you the same question. Who's a better shooter?
I gotta go me. I mean, we come in here a lot and do like a bunch of shooting drills together. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I can't sit here and lie to you. I win most of them, so I can't. I'm not going to say she doesn't win any. She does win some. She's a really good shooter, but I'm going to have to take myself. I'm sorry. I can't lie. I'm sorry.
We're less than 2 weeks from